What we're looking at today is an end-to-end data flow through a company. Starting at the left-hand side, we've got this Solidatus view. Data is coming from external feeds through loans organization, loan servicing, risk CRM, and then these blue columns here, this represents an Alteryx workflow, which is taking the input data, transforming it, and on the right-hand side here, we have the regulatory report, which is the result of the Alteryx workflow. Having a look at this regulatory report, we can see there's a whole lot of reported fields. And for example, we can see that this exposure at default field, we can see that it's coming from these data sets on the left side. Let's have a look at how we produce this layer in the middle. This blue section here represents an Alteryx workflow, which looks like this. Right, what you're seeing is parts of quite a large, complicated workflow that takes data from a whole set of input files and databases and does a whole sequence of Alteryx operations on it, including regular expression matching, filtering, formulas, joins to produce the output. So let's look at how we get hold of that and we convert it to a Solidatus model. Back to Solidatus. What you're seeing here is the output of a Solidatus Alteryx connector. Let's have a look at the Solidatus Alteryx connector for this. So in Solidatus, we've got an Alteryx agent running. This particular one, we're using it to pick up a credit risk workflow YXMD file. We run the connector and it produces this blue section that you see here. But at the moment, we're hiding all the detail about what's going on between these inputs and outputs. Let's expose what's going on so you can see what we get from Alteryx and from our connector. I'm just going to take off a filter to show all the intermediate layers here. Okay, so this is the detail of what's going on in Alteryx. You can see we've got the inputs coming in on the left. We've got Alteryx tools like Alteryx Select, regular expressions going on here, filters, and they are processing the data all the way through. There's a formula over here. And what we're doing here is we're interpreting these Alteryx tools, the inputs and outputs, as lineage from left to right. So finally, way on the right-hand side here, we have the outputs coming out to the report. Let's have a look at exposure at default and look at the detail and follow it through. Right, we'll do a show trace and show all the details. And let's have a look at what's going on here. This is my output field, exposure at default. And we've got a description for it there in the properties. And following it upstream, there's a formula here. We can see the expression for the formula. You can see that there's two inputs going in and they're being multiplied together. So these are the two inputs, and we can track these inputs all the way back through to where they came from, back in the original source. With the Alteryx connector, we've got a full end-to-end lineage at field level through an Alteryx workflow. And Alteryx is the critical part of this reporting data flow. And you can see that using the Solidatus Alteryx connector, we're filling in that very important part of the picture. If I go back to the original view, let's have a look and see where we came from. So the end-to-end flow, we've got the sections upstream. The blue part is coming from Alteryx and going out to the regulatory report.